about well. Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
We can talk, but money talk, so talk more.
Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, show, Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show.
Baby, I got your money.
Welcome to the Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure you go to the ashcashshow.com, subscribe to the podcast, go to ashcashtv.com, subscribe to the YouTube channel. So look, I'm not only the president. How that commercial go? It's not the Biggie joint. I'm not only the player president, but what was the original joint? He was like, I'm not only a client, I'm not only the president, but I'm also a client or something like that, right? And so y'all know what I'm talking about. So I woke up this morning, right? And when I woke up this morning, I turned on Monright Radio, right? So I'm not just the president, I'm the client, right? And so I turned on Monright Radio and I was listening to a bunch of tracks. And I've heard this track a million times, yo. I've heard this track a million times. Yeah, right. I'm not only the founder. Oh, yeah, I'm not only the founder. I'm something like that, whatever. But I'm gonna find the commercial because y'all know what I'm talking about, right? But either which way, it was like the hair loss commercial. You know what I'm saying? But I found this track. I was listening to Monright Radio and I found this track, and it was Abraham Hicks. Just Be. And I don't know. Sometimes the message, like sometimes I feel like the message be for me, but sometimes I be feeling like the message be for other people too. Like I don't know. It's just this weird feeling I had. And as I was listening to the track, it was two tracks I was listening to. It's actually back to back, right? Thank you. Yeah, I'm not only the hair club president, but I'm also a client. Exactly. That's the joint. So as I was listening to Eckhart Tolle talk about be present, be in the now, and how the mind is always wandering, right? The mind is always thinking about a past or thinking about a present or a future, but it's never present, right? And so you are not your mind. And I'll play that probably as well. But as I was listening to this, I realized, you know what? Let me play that because let me set that up, right? Let me set that up because I think that Eckhart, let's think about this.
Today we're going to do our book review on The Power of Now.
The Power of Now. Let's think about this for a second.
The concepts in this book can come across as very
Somebody
simple,
need this.
but don't let that trick you into dismissing them without any contemplation. These concepts, although simple, are profound. With that said, keep an open mind.
Take your notebooks out. We're going straight in.
Get an initial reaction to resist what the book teaches, but just put your opinions and judgments to the side for a few minutes and consider the possibilities.
Sharon Smith, top of the morning. You're sporting this top of the morning.
The three primary concepts I want to focus on are as follows. 1, you are not your mind.
You are not your mind.
2, the present moment is all we ever have.
The present moment is all you will ever have.
Acceptance of what is. There are many other lessons in the book, but I want to focus on these for now, just to keep it simple. The Power of Now, Lesson 1, you are not your mind.
You are not your mind.
You are not your thoughts. Quite a bold statement, I know. See, the problem of humanity is deeply rooted in the mind itself. The mind is an incredibly useful tool, but we have become identified with it. The tool, as they say, has taken over the master.
Wow.
We believe that the mind and its constant stream of thoughts is who we are, but we are much more than that.
We're more than the mind.
I'm sure by now you've noticed that your mind is constantly chatting away. The voice in your head speculates, complains, judges, compares, and so on. We habitually think and worry about the future, and if we're not doing that, then we're replaying the past events in our mind. Our thoughts, our mental dialogues are compulsive. They have taken most of us over. And the insane thing is we don't even realize it. Most of us are on autopilot. Most of us just go through life chatting to ourselves incessantly and letting our conditioned mind run our lives. Early in the book, Eckhart asks the reader, can you be free of your mind whenever
Can
you
you
want
be
to?
free of your
Have
mind
found
whenever
the
you want?
obstacle?
It's an important question.
Can you stop the stream of thoughts and just be?
Mm.
If the answer is no, then you're
Hey, yo,
unconsciously
can you
identified with the
wait?
mind.
Hold on. Can you just stop
It's using
Look,
you,
look.
and you
Wait, hold on.
probably don't even realize it.
Wait, can you stop? Yo, can you stop? Right? Can you stop your stream of thoughts and just be? Yo, that was the first thing that kind of popped to me. Was like, yo, that's a great question. Like, at any moment, whatever you're thinking about, can you stop that stream of thought and just be?
There is much more to you than just that stream of thoughts. If you're hearing this for the first time, you may be confused. You may say, well, if I'm not my thoughts, then what am I? That's a great question, and in my opinion, asking what am I is one of the most important questions you can ask yourself. That is the beginning of self-inquiry, awareness, mindfulness, or whatever you want to call it. So how do you get closer to realizing what you truly are? It all starts with awareness. You start by listening to the voice in your head as often as you can. Instead of being consumed or identified with your thoughts, you take a step back and just observe them. You try to create a sort of separation from yourself and your thoughts. It's super easy to get wrapped up in the stream of thoughts your mind is constantly coming up with. But just try your best to catch yourself in the stream of thought and just observe what's going on.
Observe what's going on.
Make a game of it like you're pretending to watch something in the lab. Observe its reactions, actions, thoughts, and so on. After you've done this for a while, ask yourself if you notice any repetitive thought patterns. Be there as the witnessing presence of your thoughts, and do so without judgment. Listen impartially throughout the day and take note of what your mind is doing. Once you start to get a glimpse that you are not the thinker, you're able to watch the thinker in your mind more objectively. When you observe your thoughts, you'll see that there's a higher level of consciousness at play here. You are that higher level of consciousness. Consider this. If you're observing your thoughts, can you be your thoughts? The answer is no. You're actually much more than thought. You are beyond thought. Over time, and as you become better at observing your thoughts, you'll feel a deeper presence behind the thought. When that happens, the thought loses its power over you because you have disidentified from the thought stream. You have disidentified from the mind. Now, if you keep this practice up for long enough, eventually you'll experience a gap between thoughts known as no mind. The gaps will be short at first, but they will get longer. The no mind gap is not some trance-like state. It's quite the opposite. You're more aware, awake, alert, and fully present in this state. Another way to get into the state of no mind is to focus your attention in the now. Become intensely conscious of the moment you're in. This draws your attention away from the mind and into the now. You are alert and aware, but you're not thinking. You can do this at any time throughout the day. If you're waiting in line or at a stoplight, become intensely aware of the moment you're in. Let go of thought and see things without the filter of your mind. Look at things without labeling or judging them. It's very challenging at first, but don't give up. Keep doing this and you'll eventually get a glimpse of no mind. This can be a very confusing concept if you've never heard it before, so let's hit on a couple of Eckhart's quotes to really drive it home before moving to the next lesson. The single most vital step on your journey toward enlightenment is this. Learn to disidentify from your mind. Every time you create a gap in the stream of the mind, the light of your consciousness grows stronger. The wider the time gap between perception and thought, the more depth there is to you as a human being, which is to say, the more conscious you are. The moment your attention turns to the now, you feel a presence, a stillness, a peace. You no longer depend on the future for fulfillment and satisfaction. You don't look to it for salvation. One day you may catch yourself smiling at the voice in your head as you would smile at the antics of a child. This means that you no longer take the content of your mind all that seriously, as your sense of self does not depend on it. For most of us, the mind has become out of balance. Our compulsive thinking is an addiction of sorts. The only way out is to realize the truth. You are not your mind. You are not your thoughts. The mind is simply a tool to be used when necessary. You can still pursue goals, but you will realize that there is nothing in the future that will save you or make you happy. You don't need something in the future. You're just happy being.
There's nothing in the future that can make you happy. Once you start staying in the here and the now, you're gonna realize, and I'm telling you, like it's crazy. I'm gonna play what I listened to back to back. But when I heard that, I said, there's nothing in the future that can make you happy. Like you either happy now or that's it. You either make a decision here and now. You either make a decision here and now to be happy or not. Like there's nothing in the future that can make you happy. And I believe once we get into that realization that the things that we keep saying that will make us happy, once we get it, if we don't, here's the thing. If you're not happy now, once you get the thing that you think is going to make you happy, you're not going to be happy and you're going to be worse off because you had put this expectation on the thing and that you said that this thing was going to make you happy, but now the thing didn't make you happy. Now you're disappointed. So now you feel worse than you felt before. Don't miss that. You feel worse than you felt before because you held off your here and now current happiness because you thought that something else was going to make you happy. And once you got there, that something else didn't make you happy. Now you're disappointed because all you had was that current time and you prolonged happy for this thing. The thing didn't make you happy. Now you're disappointed, which is worse than before because before you were hopeful. Before you were working in anticipation of happy. And so you were hopeful. But then once you got the thing and the thing didn't make you happy, now you're disappointed, which is worse than hopeful. Now you feel bad. So there really isn't nothing that can make you happy. There's nothing in the future that can make you happy. You just have to make a decision here and now to just be.
Now,
sheesh.
That brings us to lesson 2. The present moment is all we will ever have.
Sheesh.
So live in the here now. As mentioned earlier, our minds like to be preoccupied thinking about the past or thinking about the future. We are very rarely in the present moment. So our goal here is to be more grounded in the present moment. Yes, thinking and planning for the future is necessary in today's world, but let's be honest. Over 90% of our thinking is repetitive and useless, and it's often negative. Don't take my word for it. Listen to your mind for 10 minutes and see for yourself what it's saying. When I started doing this, I realized that my mind was just a rambling stream of random, mostly useless, repetitive thoughts, like a tape that was on repeat. Now, if you're offended by this, thinking, well, I'm not like that, well, that's just your ego talking. Your ego is the one getting offended. As you are not your thoughts, you are not your ego either. Tolle tells us that the only thing that is ultimately real about your journey is the step you are taking at this moment. You may have an outer purpose and outer goals, but they should not take up so much of your attention that they become more important than the step you are taking now. Now is all there is. Remember, the mind is always trying to escape the now since it has no power here. The mind needs the past and the future, memory and anticipation to exist.
Yo, hold on, my fault. I might bring it back to y'all to listen to it, but the mind. Think about it's so crazy because the mind has no power. And that's a bar. Think about that. Your mind has no power in the here and now. What you need your mind for? Right now. Like, what do you need your mind for in the here and now? Right? I'm not thinking about what I'm about to say. I'm just saying it. Right? I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. Right? And so the truth of the matter is that the mind has no power. Oh, that's like a light bulb. Hey, the mind has no power unless it focuses on the past or it focuses on the future. It really doesn't have any power in the here and now because right now, I'm not thinking about what I'm about to say, right? And so as I'm saying these words, and don't take this literal, like obviously the thoughts are coming, but the thoughts are coming from a sense of consciousness, right? I had to learn things. I had to experience things in the here and now. And so as I'm experiencing things in the here and now, I have these things that's in the mind. But the truth of the matter is that right now, I'm not thinking about what I'm about to say. I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about the future. So really, I'm not using the mind, so to speak. I'm just being. And when you just be, the mind doesn't have any power.
It hides from the present.
Wait, hold
More
on.
grounded in the present moment. Yes, thinking and planning for the future is necessary in today's world, but let's be honest. Over 90% of our thinking is repetitive and useless, and it's often negative. Don't take my word for it. Listen to your mind for 10 minutes and see for yourself what it's saying. When I started doing this, I realized that my mind was just a rambling stream of random, mostly useless, repetitive thoughts, like a tape that was on repeat. Now, if you're offended by this, thinking, well, I'm not like that, well, that's just your ego talking. Your ego is the one getting offended. As you are not your thoughts, you are not your ego either. Tolle tells us that the only thing that is ultimately real about your journey is the step you are taking at this moment.
At this moment.
You may have an outer purpose and outer goals, but they should not take up so much of your attention that they become more important than the step you are taking now. Now is all there is. Remember, the mind is always trying to escape the now, since it has no power here. The mind needs the past and the future, memory and anticipation to exist. It hides from the present. It wants to live in the past and create a story for itself, or it wants to look to the future towards some kind of fulfillment. As Tolle says, time and mind are inseparable. If you take away time by focusing on the now, the mind falls to the background. Observe how your mind habitually escapes to the past and the future. The moment you realize you're not present, you become present. When you observe it, you're not trapped in it anymore. Be what Eckhart refers to as the silent watcher. The more you're focused on time, past and future, the more you miss the now. Another great point here is that you can always handle the present moment. You can always cope with the now. Problems arise when you get wrapped up in the what ifs and I should haves. Usually everything is fine in the present moment and you can handle whatever it is that comes your way as it happens. But when you get so wrapped up in the future and start worrying about tomorrow or a week from now, that's when stress arises, and that's exactly where worry and anxiety come from. Ask yourself, what is missing in this moment? Really contemplate that one. The answer is nothing. All these wants, desires, and regrets come from the mind's obsession of the past and future. You can't cope with the future because it is a mind projection. It's not real. Is there ever any other time except the moment you're in? No. Even when you think of the past and the future, you're doing it in the now. If the present moment is all we ever have, shouldn't we be fully present in the moment we're in? We should make that the focus of our daily lives. Sure, you can go back to the past or plan for the future when you need to, but your primary focus should be on the now. If not now, when? As Eckhart states, have you ever experienced, done, thought, or felt anything outside the now? Do you think you ever will? Is it possible for anything to happen or be outside the now? The answer is obvious, is it not? Nothing ever happened in the past, and nothing will ever happen in the future. It happens in the now. A memory is just a trace from a former now that you are recalling in the now. Do you have any problems in the present moment? Not tomorrow or in 30 minutes, but right now. Let's once again hit on some quotes from The Power of Now before moving to the final lesson. Use your senses fully. Be where you are, look around, just look, don't interpret. See the lights, shapes, colors, textures. Be aware of the silent presence of each thing. Be aware of the space that allows everything to be. If you set yourself a goal and work toward it, you are using clock time. You are aware of where you want to go, but you honor and give your fullest attention to the step that you're taking at this moment. Usually the future is a replica of the past. Superficial changes are possible, but real transformation is rare and depends upon whether you become present enough to dissolve the past by accessing the power of now. How does your mind operate? Are you always trying to get somewhere other than where you are? Are your actions a means to an end? Is fulfillment always just around the corner or confined to short-lived pleasures, such as sex, food, drink, drugs, or thrills and excitement? Are you always focused on becoming, achieving, and attaining? Do you believe that if you acquire more things, you'll become more fulfilled, good enough, or psychologically complete? Only the present can free you from the past.
Only the
And
present can
finally,
free
the
you
power
from
of
the
now,
past.
lesson 3, acceptance of what is. So while you're being grounded in the moment you're in, you also want to be completely accepting of it. You don't want to allow any resistance to come in.
No
You
resistance.
may think that the situation creates the suffering, but that's not so. Your resistance is. Accept the moment as it is now. When you resist what is, you create pain for yourself. Between what is and what your expectations are, there is a gap, and that's where resistance lies.
Sheesh.
Again, the first step is awareness. Observe how your mind labels, judges, and creates resistance to what is. Over time,
Mind is
this will get
resisting what
easier to
is.
do, and you'll become somewhat objective of the mind's thoughts, and they won't have such a firm grip over you. You can then allow the present moment to be. Work with it and not against it. Accept it as it is and then act. No one is saying that you have to accept a crappy situation and do nothing about it. Remember, it's still okay to say no to people or to walk away from a situation. But now let it be a non-reactive no. Not from reaction, but from insight. Accept the moment as it is, as if you had chosen it, and then do something about it if needed. Eckhart calls this surrendering to the now. Surrender is the letting go of mental, emotional resistance to what is. And I must stress this point. This does not mean giving up or being complacent. As Eckhart Tolle stated, true surrender does not mean to passively put up with whatever situation you find yourself in and do nothing about it. Nor does it mean to cease making plans or initiating positive action. Surrendering is yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life.
Wow.
The only place where you can experience the flow of life is the now.
Is the now.
So, to surrender is to accept the present moment unconditionally and without reservation. When you acknowledge that there is resistance, you're making resistance conscious. You're no longer coming from reaction and resistance. Once you acknowledge it, ask if there's anything you do to change, improve, or remove yourself from the situation, and then take action on the one thing you can do in the now. Not the other 100 things that you may or may not do in the future, but what you can do right now. Tolle also states, the external conditions that were being resisted also tend to shift or dissolve quickly through surrender. It's a powerful transformation of situations and people. If conditions do not shift immediately, your acceptance of the now enables you to rise above them. Either way, you are free. And if you cannot surrender, take action immediately. Speak up or do something to bring about a change in a situation, or remove yourself from it. Take responsibility for your life.
Take
Eckhart
responsibility.
states, surrender does not transform what is, at least not directly. Surrender transforms you. When you're transformed, your whole world is transformed, because the world is only a reflection. Life is like a mirror. If you saw something in the mirror you didn't like, would you attack it? Of course not, because you would be attacking yourself.
Oof.
Become friendly with it, and it becomes friendly towards you. There are no problems, only situations, to be dealt with now, or to be left alone and accepted as part of the isness of the present moment until they change or can be dealt with. So see if you can catch yourself complaining, either through speech or thought. When you're complaining, you are not accepting what is. You make yourself into a victim. Let's hit on some final quotes from the book before summarizing and wrapping this up. It is not the overall situation that you need to accept when you surrender, but just the tiny segment called now. Inner resistance cuts you off from other people, from yourself, from the world around you. No longer forced to act them out blindly, and you're less likely to project them onto others. If you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. Primary reality is within, secondary reality without. If there is truly nothing you can do to change your here and now, and you can't remove yourself from the situation, then accept your here and now totally by dropping all inner resistance. The false, unhappy self that loves feeling miserable, resentful, or sorry for itself can no longer
Well, Mandy, thank you
survive.
for the badge,
This
love.
is called surrender. Surrender is not weakness. That's my quick breakdown of The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Let's summarize quickly. 1, you are not your thoughts. Observe your thoughts to see them for what they truly are. 2, the present moment is all we ever have, so be more grounded in it. And 3, surrender to the now and accept what is. Why fight what is already in existence? Instead, whatever it is, allow it to be and surrender to it. These 3 lessons get deeper and deeper the longer you practice them, so if this piqued your interest, spend some time on them and go pick up a copy of this book. It's an absolute masterpiece.
You are now listening to MindRightRadio.com, the
Man.
only place to get inspiration and motivation all day, every day.
So I hope y'all caught that. For everybody that was asking, I didn't want to talk over the beat. And you keep talking over the beat like Clue. I didn't want to talk over the beat, but you can find this at MindRightRadio.com, MindRightRadioVIP.com. This is a summary of Eckhart Tolle's book called The Power of Now. And the beats, the only place you can find this particular version is on Mind Right Radio. You can probably find the speech on YouTube, but this particular version is only on Mind Right Radio because they're handcrafted. The beats are added. Everything is done particularly by yours truly. So here's the second message, though. Right? Here's the second message. So as I'm listening to that, I started realizing how true that is. Like, yo, Mind Right Radio, MIND, MindRightRadio.com. And so as I started listening to it, I really started getting to a space where I'm like, yo, it's true. Like, we're wasting all of our time in the past and the future that we're not even focusing on now. And so how do you focus on now, right? And the next song that came on after this, as a fact, right? Damien says, yo, we are human beings, not human doings. That's a bar, right? And Abraham Hicks said it best, yo. She said, yo, just be. Like, yo, why are we resisting? Like, why are we resisting? Yo, just be. Right? Like, just be. Stop resisting. Stop using your mind. When your mind thinks of the past and your mind thinks of the future, that is your ego looking for some comfort, and you're wasting your now and your being. So you got to stop resisting. You just got to be.
I want to be a cooperative component.
Hey, yo, hold on.
I want to be a vibration.
This is one of the first tracks I ever put together. Yo, when I tell you, I don't know if you need to close your eyes. I don't know what you need to do. But the bars on here are going to change your life. If you take heed to what is being said, I promise you these bars will change your life. It will change how you look at things, because you just got to be and stop resisting. I'm not going to talk over this.
I want to be a cooperative component. I want to be a vibrational match to all that I've been asking for. I want to be a cooperative component. I want to be a vibrational match to the source within me, to the culmination of all that I have become. I want to fulfill my reason for being here. I want to have step 1 moments. I want to acknowledge that source is having step 2 moments. I want to be aware of the difference between a step 1 and a step 3 vibration. I want to acknowledge that it's all right for me to have step 1 moments. I want to know that it's okay to be out of the vortex. I want to make peace with where I am. I want to look for the positive aspects wherever I am. I want to make lists of things that feel better than other things. I want to make lists of things that feel good until I've increasingly improved lists. I want to activate within myself thoughts about things that feel good. I want the dominant thoughts that I think to be inside the vortex kind of thoughts. I want the majority of the beliefs that I hold to match the beliefs that Source holds. I want to relieve myself of the flawed premises that I picked up along the physical trail. I want to let all other people live as they want to live. I no longer want to use anyone or anything as my excuse to be outside the vortex. I'm an in the vortex person. I'm someone who wants to be in the vortex, but I'm still physically focused, and while my Source is always in the vortex, I'm willing to come out and play and put more good stuff in. But now I understand the relationship. I understand what emotions are. I understand the vibrational frequencies between who I am and who I'm being. I love the emotional guidance system that is within me. I love feeling my way into the vortex. I love knowing the well-being of the vortex. I love knowing that all truly is well with me. I love feeling the worthiness of my beingness and the prosperity of my being and the vitality of my being and the clarity of my being and the knowing of my being. I love being.
I love being.
Don't you now know more about the vortex than you've ever known? Don't you understand your relationship with it? Don't you know what your dominant priority is? Don't you understand your guidance system better? Don't you want to think the thoughts that feel better? Aren't you willing to be nicer to yourself when you're not in the vortex? Aren't you willing to let everybody else off the hook who hasn't been trying that hard to make you feel good? Aren't you ready to take responsibility for how you feel? Don't you sort of feel empowered to do it? Don't you love the feeling of being out of the vortex and then consciously, deliberately focusing yourself in? Don't you love coming into your own power? Don't you really like knowing that the universe has your back, that everything that you want is all queued up for you, and it's just a matter of focusing yourself into it? Don't you now, from inside the vortex, appreciate more of those outside the vortex contrasting experiences that have caused you to expand? Don't you like knowing that you will constantly expand? Don't you like knowing that it's going to be a constant tuning up? Don't you like that it's going to be a constant tuning up? Don't you like that it's going to be a constant tuning up? Well, that's the part you don't like so much, because you keep thinking you want to get in the vortex and get it done and live happily ever after. And we want you to hear something that's hard to hear, but it is so, so true. And that is, it's getting into the vortex that is the rush of life. Just like when you're hungry and you eat something that tastes better than when you've been eating all day long. When you're out of the vortex and then you work your way in, that's that feeling. That's that feeling of motion forward, you see. You just don't want to make a career out of step one. You want to make a career out of step 3, which is moving into the vortex. And each time you're in there, then you can look at those people who you felt were responsible for your not being in, and now they look beautiful to you because they gave you the reason to expand, and in your moving into your expansion, you are thrilled with everyone involved. So you have this person, and they just harass you into expansion. But then you can't get your eyes off of them because they're just so in your face and so inappropriate. So the very person that caused your expansion is now the person you're using not to take your expansion, and that's why you're extra mad at them. But when you're in the vortex, you'll be extra appreciative of their having prodded you into expansion, and you're using your guidance and wisdom to now take your expansion. There's still a little bit of, oh, Abraham, just get me in the vortex. Let me just get in the vortex. I'm tired of not being in the vortex. I just want to get in the vortex where good things can start happening to me. And we say, get in the vortex and good things will start happening to you. It is law. Say with us, what I want is done on a vibrational level.
What I want is done
it is.
On a vibrational level.
What I want is done on a vibrational level. What I want is done on a vibrational level. I ask for it and it is done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. That's why I say, I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. It's done. It's done. My lover is there. My money is there. My good feeling body is there. My recovery has taken place. My abundance is there. My clarity is there. My stability is there. My vitality is there. My flexibility is there. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. I like to think about it. I like to talk about it. I like to bask in it. I like to concentrate. But don't do any of these processes to make something happen. It's done. It's done. It's done. Don't do them to make them happen. Don't do them even to get it. Don't do it even to get there. It's done. You are in your physicalness, you are so insignificant in relationship to what's done. It's done. Do you realize the world you are creating? Do you see your vibrational astral? We do. It's done and it's magnificent. Now talk about it because it feels good to talk about it, because it doesn't need more work. You don't need the clarity in order to make it happen. It's done. You don't need the conversation. You don't need the processes to make it happen. It's done. Let's not get the job done. Let's let the job be done.
Let's let the job be
let
done.
it be done by the natural laws of the universe. Let's let it be done by the larger part of you. Let's let it be done by law of attraction. Let's let it be done because it's right that it be done. Let's let it be done because
it is done.
That's the thing that we so want to
Because it is
hear.
done.
It is done. It's only your
It's
awareness.
done.
You can't see the evidence of
It's
the
the awareness
It's
of
holding you back. Everything is unfolding in its perfect order. It's a matter of letting it be, letting the goodness that you so deserve,
the goodness
that
be.
you've so set into motion, that you've so even recently contributed to magnificently. Just let it be. Let the good times roll. Let the fun be. Let my attitude improve. Let the evidence be shown. Let the world understand. Let me know right now. Let it be. Let who I really am be present in this moment. Let my
present in
eagerness
this
be.
moment.
Let my passion be. Let my clarity be. Let my balance be. Let my metabolism be. Let my well-being
Let my
be.
well-being
Let my
be.
cells do what they do.
Let
my
my
nation be.
Let my nation
my
be.
government be. Let the health
the government
system
be.
Let the ecology be. Let the economy be. Let the good times roll. Let it be. Let the well-being be. Let the earth spin in its orbit in perfect proximity. Let it be. How involved in that are you? You're not involved in that. You let that be. You let that be. And you can let everything be in that same expectant of good things to be.
Sheesh.
We want you to leave here sure of these things. You are more source energy than you are flesh, blood, and bone being. You are vibration at your basis, and your emotions are your keenest way to identify that. Life is supposed to feel good to you, and when it doesn't, you're off track.
You're off track. Life is supposed to feel good. If it doesn't, you're off track.
No matter what, because at its time of feeling most wrong, you're really poking around in a problem. And when you are at a time when you are really poking around in a problem, you're really giving birth to a solution. And we all really appreciate that. Because we exist as you perceive us right here and now, as the solution side to the problem that you have posed. If your life had not prompted the culmination of your question, these answers could not be here in this vivid form. We were not standing here as the owner and holder or perceiver of all of this knowledge, just waiting for you to figure out the right question so that we could deliver it to you in the perfect timing. You created the answer when you posed the question. Our satisfaction happened even while you were struggling with your question. Your satisfaction doesn't happen till you let go of the problem and accept the reality of the solution. There isn't anything that you're supposed to do. You didn't say, as you made the decision to come into this body, you didn't say, I'll find my life's purpose and I'll fulfill it. You didn't say, I'll go forth and find the things that need to be fixed or improved and I'll work on fixing and improving them. Instead, you said, I cannot wait to sink my thinking teeth into the variety that will inspire expansion from me, because it's fun as it begins in the beginning and the middle and the ending. It's fun to explore contrast and variety, and it is oh so fun to give birth to a new idea that has not been before. And it is so much fun to recognize the vibrational variance between the new idea that I've given birth to and where my habit of thought usually is. And it's fun to be aware of this vibrational variance by the emotions that I feel, and it's fun to guide myself into alignment, and it's fun to feel the improvement in the manifestation of my life as I find more alignment. And oh, it is so satisfying to come into complete alignment with that new expansion that I just carved out. And oh, then by the way, it's fun to see the manifestation swoop in all around me, but it's then fun to find myself standing in a new place of diversity and contrast, giving birth immediately to another new desire. That's fun. And it's fun to realize that I'm not up to speed yet with that new idea, but it's fun to recognize that I have guidance within me that lets me know the direction of my expansion. And it's all fun when I turn in the direction of that. So satisfying to feel the call of source and to come into alignment with it. Oh, and so exhilarating to complete that vibrational alignment and to feel the resonance with the fullness of all that I have become. Oh, so satisfied. And then to get to watch the manifestation swoop in around as evidence of that alignment. So fun. And then to find myself standing in a new contrasting place. Because I cannot stand in any place for any period of time at all. It's all moving forward so rapidly, isn't it? So when you come, as so many of you have, to the awareness that it is the expansion that is exhilarating, and the catching up with it that is exhilarating, and the contrast that's exhilarating, and the expansion that is exhilarating, and the catching up with it that's exhilarating, and the manifestation that is exhilarating. But it's the movement of energy that you are about. You are energy moving themes. You are creators. You are focusers.
You're focusers.
You are beers, not doers.
You are beers, not doers.
Not havers.
Not
you are
havers.
beers. You are emotional beings.
Emotional beings.
And as you care how you be, as you care how you
gotta care how you be,
then all of that having and doing will just show itself to you. But it will never, ever, ever be the main event.
Never
it
be the
will
main
always
event.
be old news.
It always
be old news. Because the new news is the new idea.
New
the
idea.
New idea.
New
the
idea.
New expansion.
New
the
expansion.
New motion forward.
New motion
the new
forward.
Coming into alignment. The
Ah!
new motion, the new sensation.
Ah!
The new culmination. The new manifestation. The new contrast. The new idea. The new coming into alignment, the new emotion, the new alignment, the new manifestation, the new contrast. In other words, it's just this cycle of never-ending, joyful life experience that we are all a part of.
Yeesh. Oh my God. I don't even got nothing to say. I can't even say nothing after this. Sheesh. So yes, the message. That's it. Just be. That is it. I ain't got nothing else to say. Be present. Be here and now. Just be. As you start being, the doing and the having will just come. That's it. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. I know it was a short one. IG was playing around, but it's all good. I feel full. I feel like the message was still relayed. So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Fat shout. Let me give my shout outs. Your spoiledness. Thank you on the YouTube check-in. Salute. Sharon Smith, Abundance Community. The multi-millionaire is in the building. Sharon Smith on the YouTube check-in. Lacree, what's up? Top of the morning. Cree is in the building. Brandon Lee on the YouTube check-in. Top of the morning. Lottie Grip, salute on the YouTube check-in. Marcy Unlimited, top of the morning. Richard Haggins, what up? Top of the morning. Melanie C on the YouTube check-in, top of the morning. Rescue Ready Roadside LLC, top of the morning. Patina Kid, top of the morning. Angela Smith is in the building. And then we got Momma Ash Talks, top of the morning. She's in the building as well. Thank you so much for the badge love. 11 badges today. Salute to all the badge love. Butterfly Thoughts, thank you for the badge love. Ramaya Trash, thank you for the badge love. Patrick Watkins, thank you for the badge love. Panther Ink Graphics, thank you for the badge love. Miss Tiff, thank you for the badge love. The Don Oliver, thank you for the badge love. Stacy J, thank you for the badge love. Tanks 4747, thank you for the badge love. Blue 5 Keys, thank you for the badge love. Tony Hustle 215, thank you for the badge love. Authentic Culture Show, thank you for the badge love. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap in the after party with my guy Ramaya Trask. Make sure y'all tap in and tune in the Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Stay fly, LA. Thank you for the badge love. First Love Yourself. Crazy About Cakes. Thank you for the badge love. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in, tuning in the Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I'll see y'all tomorrow in God's will. Same time, same place. All right, peace.
I'm talking about wealth. Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
We can talk, but money talk, so talk more.
Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show. The